Here is my roughly 7,000 point Salamanders 40k army. Been using this extensively in 9th edition. Got some big stuff, as you can see. It's almost entirely Primaris, all painted, all decaled up. Lots of customization and kit bashing. I go with an overview, and then we're gonna do some zoom ins on some of my favorite units. Here we have our armored core. Two Redemptors. We have the Fist of Nocturne and Vulkan's Hammer. Both have slain many mighty enemies of the Imperium. Repulsor Executioner with heavy laser destroyer. I love anything that has a high damage output. Impulsor. And then we have the mighty Astreus. The name of this machine spirit, Gojira. Painted by my friend Matt Dubrock. "30 wounds in 9th edition, 12 3-damage shots from the macro accelerator cannons, 6 las cannon shots, tough 8, 2 void shields. It's nasty. And then corralling these mighty machine spirits, we have a Primaris Tech Marine, which we'll go over in a little bit. Here we have our fast attack flank. 2 boxes of Outriders. These are for 2 squads. These are from the Indomitus box. Of course, we have Homeboy doing a wheelie. And we have the other guy doing the Akira power slide. Just a little bit of, couple of little trophies on the side of them. And then we have the second squad. Once again, wheelie. Got some Salamander upgrade bits. Power slide. This guy's saying, I'm gonna shoot you. 3 units of suppressors. These guys don't really get used a whole lot much anymore. I just need my units to do so much more in 9th edition with the tighter lists. I love them in 8th, but basically everything in my army has to be able to shoot and cap and fight. We have 2 Inceptor squads. These are the Dark Imperium guys from the 8th edition starter box. Busted off their arms, did a couple little upgrades. Upgraded the bases, as you can see. And here we have the box Inceptors with plasma guns. I typically combine both of these into 1 squad of 5 plasma Inceptors and do work. They've killed demons, Mortarion, Repulsors, Redemptors, chewed up Gravis armor, you name it. If you're not taking plasma Inceptors, seriously give it a look. Next we have our troops. 10 infiltrators, which I actually more often take as incursors. No real customization on these guys besides this. The sergeant's head is from a scout, I think. Speaking of scouts, we got 10 sniper scouts. These guys don't really get seen anymore on the table for me. "15 intercessors. This one is the 30th anniversary store opening guy, I think. Customized with a Thunderhammer and a couple other Salamander bits. And we got this guy who's slapping a fresh magazine in his bolt rifle on one of my favorite Primaris models. And we've got these guys with war trophies on their head, thunder hammers everywhere. These guys are ready to do the Emperor's work. And over here we have 15 Dark Imperium intercessors. They've killed many foes before being relegated to the sidelines for most games when I go for the upgraded guys. Moving over here to the heavy infantry. Got 10 Hellblasters. You got 5 from Dark Imperium, 5 from the box kitted out as heavy Hellblaster or heavy plasma cannons. That guy's finger broke off at some point. Got 2 squads of Eradicators. I usually take them as heavy melter rifles for that D6 plus 2 damage at long range. So good. And then hidden in the graveyard, we've got 2 squads of sniper eliminators from the Shadow Spear box, and 1 squad of eliminators from the standalone box. And I gave them Reaver heads. So these guys, I sort of went for a stealthy paint job. They didn't quite turn out how I wanted to. It was basically just lead belcher prime with contrast black over it. Well, I wasn't really crazy about it, so when it came time to paint these guys, I just gave them green armor to match the rest of the army. But I still went with the urban camo gray with a giant gold thing sticking out of the back. Typical Space Marine camouflage, but they look so good with those Reaver helmets. Especially this guy's pose. Moving into my melee and elite troops, we have some assault intercessors. Once again, spruced up just a little bit with salamander bits and bobs. This guy got a thunder hammer. Storm Shield Thunderhammer Terminators. Monsters in 8th edition. Unfortunately, I have not used them in 9th edition once. They're the Forge World Horus Heresy dudes. I believe they're called Fire Drakes. I'm not sure. Such cool models though. 3 Blade Guards. Nasty dudes. I typically don't use them. I can't ever seem to find the points for them. And then speaking of melee combatants, we have the Company Champion, a heavy kit bash. That's a Dark Imperium Sergeant body. It would be this guy. You can see the foot placement. And he's got an Ogren combat shield because he comes with a combat shield, not a storm shield. He's got some pretty big purity seals. Those are from the attack bike kit, and then some salamander tabards on his helmet too. This chest piece came from these guys. Oops. And then the Thunderhammer, I think, is from Spellcrow. I'm not sure. I think he's rad. Here we have the core of my Salamander army. 9 aggressors, typically taken in a squad of 5 and a squad of 4. Then Agatone, Lord of the Aggressors. guy beats face. I love his warlord trait, Lord of Fire, letting me reroll flamer shots. That cloak that does -1 damage, the Iridian Drakehide. Such an awesome model. He's claimed many heads for the 18th Legion. He comes in every game. My playgroup loves killing him because he just has such a body count. Now we have the command corps, aside from Agatone, of course. 2 lieutenants, the Phobos lieutenant, and the Indomitus. He was pretty cool. The volcanite pistol. Got my Smash Captain, who I affectionately call Mr. Angry. Unfortunately, in 9th edition, it doesn't really seem like the Thunderhammer is the way to go. Typically, when he comes in to a game, he's not WYSIWYG. I'll equip him with the Teeth of Terra and just try to give him as many attacks as possible. I think I can get him up to like 9 attacks at strength 8 or something on the charge. He's nasty. Got our Dark Imperium Ancient, old trusty. My Chaplain. Always loved how this guy turned out. I love the gold edging on his cloak. And the Salamander shoulder pad, of course. Got 2 librarians, one of which is just the regular Space Marine librarian, and then the other one is heavily kit bashed. So this guy is a Stormcast Eternal Psyker, I'm not sure what it's called in Age of Sigmar, with the Salamander upgrade sprue trophy right there, and then the one hanging from his belt is that's just from Space Marine somewhere. He's got a Eliminator head, and then the backpack off an Eliminator to go with his cloak, and then of course the flaming sconce. Cool thing about him is the Stormcast Eternals, their symbols are lightning and hammers. Perfect fit for the Salamanders. I didn't even change out the shoulder pads. Then we have our last two captains. Big Chungus, Gravis Captain from Indomitus. My first character. Meet the Empire. We have the Indomitus Captain. Painted him a little bit differently. I did a contrast white and then contrast green and black. And then I tried my best to leave his shield, the white parts white, to give him a really cool white holy shield look. And it turned out so good. Tried to do lava on the blade. That didn't really turn out that great, but there's his little Necron buddy. I'll go over a couple more of the models. Here's my Tech Marine. This is Iron Father Pharos, the Primaris special character for the Iron Hands. He's got just a little bit of, couple of differences, a Salamander shoulder pauldron. He's got a Salamander aggressor head. I think that's a leftover little canister from one of the repulsor kits, but yeah, other than that, he makes a really good Tech Marine. If you're like me and you don't like the Primaris Tech Marine kit, he's painted with a contrast red, whatever it's called. Here is my other recent kit bash. A couple months ago, I really needed an apothecary, and I couldn't find one online for less than like 60 bucks. So I just created one. This is a Dark Imperium lieutenant who had not seen the battlefield in about 2 years. And he's got, I cut them all up. He's got a Reaver, that's their grapple pistol. This pack is from, I don't know what. It looks like it's AdMech, I'm not sure. It came with this cool arm, which almost looks like it could be of medical use. He's got a Salamander shoulder pad, some medical pouches, which are actually from the Eliminator kit. So he turned out okay. I definitely enjoyed the hell out of having an apothecary. I wasn't crazy about the paint job. I really would have rather him been white, but I just did not feel confident enough to pull it off. Maybe one day he'll get stripped and made white and red so he really stands out as obviously an apothecary on the table for my opponents. That's it. Roughly 7,000 points of the 18th Legion. These aggressors always come as flamethrowers. They're definitely not used as bolters. Troops in the back. There it is. The 18th Legion, still standing strong, incinerating its problems. May the Emperor guide your light. Vulkan lives.